Welcome, everyone, to episode 6 of the Video Game Book Club for the month of May 2021. This time around, I am joined by Nakuso, Shai Shen, Soul Charizard, Tailman, Bajirwin, Nengo, Amber. So, say hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Ciao.
So, this month's game was Night Call. This was nominated by Tailman, and the official website describes the game as a new kind of narrative and noir game where, quote, you begin to investigate with your only advantage on your back seat. People talk, open up, share secrets. So listen to your passengers, collect clues, and stop the killer. But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? So question 1. How would you describe the game to someone?
How would I describe the game? Part-time taxi driver, part-time detective, and part-time therapist.
Wait a second, isn't that from the description?
Wait, really?
Got him. Is this a copyright issue?
Wait, is this a copyright issue? I did not mean to. I guess my creativity is not that great.
Oh crap!
Starting strong with demonetization. How I would describe the game to someone? Emotional, Uber, support, simulator, TM.
It's already been said, but oh jeez. All right, I'm gonna have to say it anyways. Screw it. Part-time detective, part-time cab driver. A best way to have an experience in a noir novel game.
You stole it from Hamber?
Yeah.
Who
Where's my
stole it from
credit?
the game?
I changed the ending of the sentence. Okay.
Take the aesthetic of those Paris canvas paintings from Ross, add some therapy and good music that you get like on the lo-fi channel, and you just hope you don't die or get the wrong killer. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it a bizarre indie noir interactive novel with dark elements and shining stories.
For me, I would say that you're out to catch a killer while listening to the problems of everyday people as you as you go through a rundown city, listening to other creatures or other obstacles that you must come across, while also listening to some pretty badass music. I like it.
In Night Call, you play as a freshly stabbed cab driver who listens to mostly pointless but sometimes interesting stories that won't actually help you find the killer.
A taxi simulator that'll drive you crazy, where your day begins when someone else ends.
What are your experiences with visual novel style games?
Well, my experiences with visual novel games is very limited. I did unfortunately play naughty dating sims on Newgrounds, such as Naruto Dating Sim.
Called that.
Very great plot line, just to let you know. And recently, I did play a game called ReZero. Wasted $60 on it because I could just watch the anime instead.
Wow. So my experiences with visual novel games, not to plug my Twitch, but like I did stream Higurashi no Nakakarani.
It's true.
Which is
We're at.
Purely storytelling. There's no decision making at all. I played quite a bit of like mobile visual novel games like the Arcana, Surviving High School, Mystic Messenger. There's this one called There's This Girl. And I'm kind of in the same boat with the naughty Newground dating simulators.
Oh, yeah.
But on the safer side, there's also Pactasis, who made a lot of dating sims. I played Dream Daddy for a bit. I'm sure Darcy would have agreed if she was here. Or sorry, not Darcy. And then I watch a lot of like Danganronpa on Twitch. And yeah, that's about it.
I think my first experience with visual novel games, I'm not sure if this is included, but it's some bits and pieces of 999. I'm not sure. I think I only play like the beginning part of it. That's about it. So but playing Night Call, I think this is like my official first time playing a visual novel game.
I honestly play probably a lot more visual novel than I'd like to admit. And there's a reason me, Hamber, and Nengo are friends, because we played all those raunchy Newgrounds ones. I played Dramatical Murder. I tried to get all the endings. I'm dedicated like that. 999, literally pre-ordered that game and got all the endings. Was
Didn't you play
dedicated.
like the Amnesia dating simulator? at
Yes,
one point?
Amnesia dating.
It's
Even though,
Amnesia dating
yeah, but it says Amnesia Dark Descent or something on Discord, but I'm actually playing a dating game. And Hatoful Boyfriend, like if it's a visual novel and
with the
there's
pigeons.
yes, if there's a visual novel and there's multiple endings, you can bet I'm grinding for different endings. Princess Debut, you name it. I've played a lot and I play them for a long time.
I have never played a visual novel before. I think they're boring. I want to play a game. I don't want to read. I don't like reading. I'm illiterate. So, I mean, the only visual novel game I have is Honey Pop and Nekopara,
Of course.
if that counts. But yeah, I have zero experience with visual novels. They're not my thing. Not at all. There's no guns, there's no shooting, and there's no kill death ratio. So
For myself, I played a handful of visual novel games, such as Hatoful Boyfriend. The first one I ever played was Monkey Island. I think, yeah, that was actually the first one I played a long time ago on PC. Then we come into the present day with Cherry Tree High Comedy Club, which is a really weird game. I don't know how I got that. Maybe either a humble bundle. I have one that I did not purchase. I must say that I did not purchase this game. I was gifted this game by Tubby Mora for my birthday, and it's Sakura Spirit. I played through that game, and with
Wait,
that,
was that really me?
yeah.
I could have gotten something better. Okay.
And the last one, a recent time is Steins Gate, because that's like one of my top
Ooh.
favorite animes. And then the visual novels are like, has some amazing artwork compared to the anime. So it's definitely like one of the things I went through, and gotta play the other ones. So besides that, I don't have too many other experiences with visual novels, but I think that's it.
So for me, I don't have a whole lot of experience with visual novel style games. Kind of on the same boat with Shai Shen. Like typically, if I'm gonna get a story type game, it's mostly been games that have like heavy choices, like Telltale's Walking Dead, or even the Borderlands game that Telltale made. But if we're talking about like strictly visual novel games, the most recent one I definitely played was the Ace Attorney, like the original Ace Attorney. I played Hotel Dusk on the DS, and a little bit of Hatoful Boyfriend, which is the pigeon dating sim that Bajoran was talking about earlier. Other than that, not really a big visual novel person,
Does
but
Professor Layton
I want to
count?
try it. Ask more like a puzzle
Oh, but
game.
there's the
Yeah,
okay.
there's visual novel elements in it.
Because I'm trying to think of
Mostly
games you've
puzzle.
played.
It's not really my go-to genre. I mean, I'm open to play visual novel games, but I don't like go out to seek the hottest and greatest visual novel games. But yeah, that's my experience.
Okay. As for visual novels, I never ever played one. The most exposure I've ever had was when others talk about them here, or I stumble across a Let's Play on YouTube or something. But actually playing one, or let alone even owning one, Nightcall is my very first visual novel that I've ever owned and played. So that's literally my only experience with visual novels.
Question 3: what is one thing you liked about the game?
I just love reading. It's not like I get enough of it from school. That's pretty great.
Damn, the
But
sarcasm.
kidding aside, I guess I really like the assortment of different side characters there is. Apparently, there was over 70 characters in that game that I
Yeah.
read. It's always a different experience, ranging from picking up drunkards and from the bar to wasting your hard, precious money picking up that one hobo guy that no one likes.
One thing that I liked about the game was kind of similar. I enjoyed how distinctive all the passengers are from each other. I didn't expect that there would be non-human passengers hitching a ride. I found it funny, like there was a robot that was actually getting pretty deep on like how if they existed it would ruin the lives of many because it would take over their jobs. I was surprised there was like a time traveling chick that she even drops names about other passengers you have to be wary about. Some of them reminded me of people I know in real life, which was kind of funny. And I think I saw a cat too, so that was interesting.
And there was a ghost boy.
Yeah, I got the cat
Yeah.
too.
See, I didn't get a ghost boy, but I got a woman that like warned me of some ghost that would visit me, but then she didn't pay her fare, and I got really mad because I owed a lot of money to the government after that night.
Oh yeah, I got that lady too. So
No, yeah, capitalism aside, that's what I enjoyed.
One thing I like about the game, I got two things I like about the game. One is the art or the music. Let's just go with the art because I like the noir setting. I like the North setting because it sets the whole tone of the entire game, and it's I can't say the words correctly. It's
Orgasmic.
not really. It is
Amazing.
artistically Yeah, I'll say artistically amazing, and
Innovative.
yep. Or
Got you,
it
bro.
likes to keep the classic style of an investigation thing going on.
One thing I liked about this game was the whole game, to be honest, because I just really like visual novels. But aside from the music and the concept itself, which was like really cool to me, was the cat. I really liked that cat, man. That was my favorite ride I ever gave. I'm just saying. That cat made this game worth playing. I love that cat, man. If I had to pick just the one, it was that cat. Croaky or something. That cat was amazing, man. He was nodding. He was smart. I've been living with a cat for a while, so I just really like cats, man. So cute.
One thing I really liked the game, like it was like a dark ambiance with like the stories told by the suspects and bystanders are kind of interesting. Honestly, I don't like interactive novels again, but like it was kind of redeeming seeing all the stories from the characters, like how it wasn't boring, like how some old man was just talking about his life and how he hates himself. How they added the robots and the cat. That kind of gave me a little bit more interest. Because I just don't want to hear the same old lady. Oh, you made my boyfriend break up with me by hitting myself in the cab or hitting me with a cab. So yeah, adding a little bit more of like a spontaneous not perk, but like it gave it a little bit more fun than I thought it would have. It really changed on what I thought the game was going to be, like really dark and gritty and sometimes boring.
So for me, it was the stories.
I did not write that well.
Also, a cool thing about it was the different connecting stories. So like the cat, that's actually connected to another character, which is I'm not sure if anyone else met like the owner of that cat that you like escorted, but I met her and it seemed a little
She's
sus.
mean.
Just the interconnecting stories, and also I'm not sure if anyone else talked to like that superhero quotations or vigilante who may or may have not killed someone.
Talk to him, yeah.
That was a little sketchy. Also, but I like I wanted to go out and say something different because everyone else said the story, but it's like connecting. It's like the music connects to the story. Because some of those cases, like that, for instance, has some really thriller type of build up, and I really liked the more intense stuff, especially for the last case, like the last night. That music, that build up and intensity as you ask questions which I mean, I guess we could get to it like in the next question when we talk about things we can improve. So I'm just gonna go on to next.
It's very similar to what everyone has been saying because this is literally what carries the game. It was just interesting meeting like all the different passengers and hearing their stories and seeing their different personalities, and it really like helped ground and develop the world. Because I know a lot of these stories are actually based off people's real experiences, and you can really just tell just by listening to it. And some of the stories were also just pretty funny, even if they started out serious. Like one example I wrote down that just caught me off guard. Like it started out hilarious and then it just got a little sad, but then it kind of ended in a happy note. I wrote it down here. So there's this beautiful lady that enters the cab, and then you overhear her conversation. She makes it sound like she just got back from having a threesome or something, just to reveal that she had just visited her son and the fiance. So her son was put into a coma by a truck driver, and her son's fiance have been taking care of him ever since. And right as the story is getting dark, like the lady, she lightens up the mood with a funny story moment. She says that as she was turning her son to, take care of a few bed sores, her son unexpectedly gets a boner and, begins laughing as she recalls it. And the fiance is
jeez.
pretty embarrassed and doesn't know how to react. And it just really put a smile on my face because like no matter how dark or bleak a situation becomes, like just those little story moments can show like there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, which was refreshing because considering how many of these character stories could be pretty depressing.
I
So
wish
I'm
I
glad
got
these.
that, lady.
Yeah, it was
That's
there were like
a good
moments like
one.
that, and then there was even one about like a freaking art student who the parents were very disappointed and stuff. I was like, ooh,
I
these
wish I had
stories.
that one.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Or did she feel like an entrance exam or something?
Yeah, that was another one. That was a different
Oh.
lady. A lot of these stories, a lot of people can relate to. So it was good stuff. I quite enjoyed it.
The thing I liked about like Night Call is if you're a fan of the noir genre and just style in general, it's definitely going to appeal to you. The color scheme is simplistic and black and white, but then all the objectives are highlighted yellow, which fits the theme of a cab per se. So that's pretty cool. And like everyone else says, the just the vast amount of passengers who may or may not potentially give you a clue about the killer you're chasing, or just gives you an odd tale that you have a choice to listen to or interact with. I really do like that aspect of the game. Um, it does keep you entertained and intrigued at least until you finish your first 7 nights, and after that, well, that we can talk about later. But before that, though, it's a really nice experience just to see what other crazy kooky characters you may run into, and indeed, like Tubby said, some of the stories mentioned beforehand, literally on the title screen, are like based on real experiences. And I was like, oh snap! All right, so yeah, that's what I liked about the game, though.
Question 4: What is one thing you did not like about the game, and how would you improve it?
To be honest, this game was just not my cup of tea. I just wanted more romance. I just needed more dating sim vibes. That's just what I needed. And it was just pretty repetitive. Yeah, you guys were talking about there's different stories, but I just don't care. I don't care, okay? Literally the whole game, I'm trying to figure out who the murderer is. I don't want to hear someone's backstory about their love life. Like it doesn't matter to me. And I guess to add more features, instead of just clicking on somebody and driving and then clicking on somebody again and driving, I guess you could add more features like having the choice to not ride a taxi that day and like opt for spying on potential suspects. And I think that'd be pretty interesting and like seeing in their personal lives. And just more romance, please.
So your complaint is you ended up single. You started single and
There was
finished single?
potential with that one lady.
Yeah, there was though.
What would you do if I told you to hit on me right now? Like, would you do it?
Yes, there was some spark.
One thing I didn't like about the game and how it improve it. So I did enjoy how many characters there were, how it's randomized, how they're all very distinctive. But I think I could have survived if the conversations were a tad bit shorter.
Ooh.
I reached the point where I would purposely be silent and like praying to God they won't start talking to me just so I can finish the fare and get my money. Like, honestly, I came here to be a taxi driver detective, not a taxi driver therapist. And so to improve the game, I would uninstall it. No, I think one way to increase the replayability is I think if the beginning of each case would be a little different, that would be nice. I was a little confused starting Sandman and being like, oh, this is all copy and paste from the first case. Okay. And honestly, shorter conversations would really benefit my 3 brain cells.
One thing I don't like about this game is how would I improve it is just I feel like there needs to be an autosave in that thing. There's an autosave, like a manual save. Like just like you want to find out what kind of information you can get or what other other paths you can choose if you get if you like say you get the wrong killer and it ends in a bad ending. But if you want to start at the begin, like somewhere where you got all the certain informations, which there was a manual save, and so there can be other kinds of possibilities or what other paths that can lead to different kinds of endings when you find or don't find the criminal. Say you made the wrong choice of the suspect to.
If you can hear us, you have cut off. but you'll be back in 3, 2, 1. He's
Wave
back.
broadband.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, look
Wow.
at that.
That was magical.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wish there was a manual save, so you can just like load up the same the where you were before and just like start off in a different path.
Maybe I just love visual novels that much, but honestly, the only thing I can really think about that I would improve with this game is probably so like I can get impatient with certain parts of the game. For example, if I'm picking up someone across the map and then you're waiting for the car to drive across the map, you can't skip to just kill the animation, and I kind of get it. So you can change your option or whatever. But sometimes I know where I want to go. I would like to speed up the process and pick up this person, please. That cat needs to get to the train station. I don't need to watch myself drive to the cat. I will watch myself drive with the cat, but I don't want to see myself driving to the cat. Anyway, that's literally the only thing I can think of.
Although the game was like an interactive novel, the investigative part of the game was a little bland in my opinion. Like it kind of handheld you through the deduction process, like almost if the game knew you, like there was people like auto clicking through the story. And it just gave you the clues and who it related to automatically. Like I mean, they could add like a little bit of difficulty by removing those. And then also with removing those, like give my clues with the interviews of the people. Like so I can follow along with the progression and what I'm giving these to. Because although I'm listening, it gives me it after, and I'm like, wait, who said this? Or like, where did this come from? Or I just get like a little note card on my board. And yeah, I just make it a little bit more of an investigative game instead of a visual novel. More interactions with what the heck is happening.
Require more follow through.
All I can read it, like, it was all right. That's the only thing I didn't like. It was too easy, you know?
I'm going to follow up with Shai Shin and say the game can't decide whether it wants to be a detective type of game or a taxi game. So a lot of the time you're just listening to different people. Some people don't have anything to do with the whole suspect, and which is kind of weird because that's like the whole premise of the game. I mean, it's funny and cool, but they need to either go in one direction where the whole game is, hey, you're just talking to different people and it's just like random people that you find and encounters, or it needs to focus more just on the investigation. Night 7, when you're with the actual killer or whoever you expect to be the killer, is probably like what I expected from most of the game. Having that intense music while they're asking questions and you don't know if they're actually the person or if they are, that was like the only part of the game where I actually feel like, oh my god, my choices actually matter what I say. And having the ending relate to that was a much more better experience than, oh hey, I'm just gonna tell this random person that may or may not do something, and then it's gonna escort the time. And oh wait, now I have to worry about the whole premise of the money situation. And if you run out of money, which I did, because I picked up that stupid guy who doesn't pay anyone. So annoying. That person led me to bankruptcy, and
homeless dude.
Yeah, and I learned that you can actually run out of money, which they don't tell you, and that ends your game.
Unfortunately, they don't really elaborate on that. They just said don't get fired, quote unquote, but that's basically their way of saying don't run out of money. So
When you're choosing difficulty, it says like it's easier to get money in a specific one. So it's kind of hinting that money is a factor in your life.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
No,
that's the only time I saw it. But
they need to clarify that though. That's like bad design, especially when it ends. You're running like, oh. Luckily, that doesn't end your game. Otherwise, I would have been been really upset if I had to start a new game. That's pretty much it. Just the game not knowing if it wants to just be a taxi game or a detective game. That's my problem with it. Obviously, how I would fix it is just having like either slashing down half of the cast and focusing more on the detective side and the suspects and getting more in detail with them. Maybe as Hamburger said, turn it more into some more dating type of thing where you can date certain suspects, whether it be male or female, and then that can lead to something to find the actual killer. Just more options like that would have been a lot cooler.
It'd be interesting to date that one hobo guy. That would have been a pretty interesting story.
Is that your ship?
I don't trust that guy. I think that guy's a pedophile.
Oh no, there's another one who doesn't pay you, and that's the hooker gal, I believe, who gives you information.
I'm pretty sure she pays you in some other way.
She offers.
So the thing I didn't like about the game really aligns with what Nakuso and Shaishen said. It's the lack of actual detective work. Like the game doesn't really allow you to piece the evidence together. It just holds your hands. You hold your hand. And many conversations with the passengers like don't even relate to the case. So then by the end you're like what's the point? I just really wish the game would give you options to really investigate like the passengers. Like for instance, a very common thing in most visual novel games is you can look at the conversation that just took place. Like what Shaishen said, like being able to read through your conversation with them to see how they answered. Like stuff like that would have been
transcripts.
Great. Yeah, the transcript. Like that is like the most common thing for every single visual novel game, and they didn't even have that. Which really
I actually had to write down. I have like literally like 10 sticky notes with different suspects that I wrote down and how they connect.
Yeah. It's just like things like that would have made it great. More dynamic question options so you can like try to figure out, hey, what is this person really a suspect or not? Just the ability to take notes, do cross-examination. It's just like a lot of the things I can't help but compare it to Ace Attorney. There's a reason why that game is really popular. It's because it does it right. Like you can catch when a person's lying based off what they said or what they said previously. So like I just wish there was more game in this visual novel noir game. Because like as Naxo said, as it stands, it's like you're either a cab driver who's listening to people's pointless problems, or what Shaishin said, you're having your hand held through this investigation that really doesn't pay off in the end. Like no one cares. Like Nakaso's right, it was cool that the whole sequence that led up to that, but who cares about that guy? Like how does that guy really affect you? Like what's the point of him?
No, honestly, I thought they would showcase more of the nonverbal communication when I saw like how nicely animated each of the passengers are. But then no, they were just kind of holding your hand until you realize you were manipulated from the beginning.
I don't really have too much experience with novels, so I don't know what to say or do. But I do agree with a lot of stuff. You know, to just improve it, you know, make the detective segments a lot more involved. Like the most you ever do is, hey, there's a place you should check out, and then go there, and then you know follow up with it, and then oh, you got a clue. That's it. Like I wish there was more segments where there would be more initiative to try and go out of your way to try and track down evidence and all that, because you know when those places even just pop up, you could literally finish a night and they'll still be there until you actually visit it or something. I think in my thing, and then as for the passengers, yeah, it did sometimes feel like they would drag on a little too much, and then when you find out that they don't give you anything useful, you know, you don't get any evidence out of it. It feels like you just wasted your time a little, but I get it. That's just kind of how the game is supposed to work. And but as for improving it, yeah, give the option to skip some of the path from when you want to go pick them up and all that. That would be a nice one. Make the detective part actually more challenging, and you have the option to look at your transcripts, because there were some times when I did want to go back to a particular exchange between some characters and I can't, and then so if I unintentionally miss something or I forgot, you know, you're kind of out of luck. So that would have been a nice feature to have too. And the whole simulation part, yeah, I did kind of feel it too, because I feel like as soon as it's night over, then it's detective mode, and then after that, it's back to taxi simulator mode, and it kind of, you know, only occasionally does it feel like both seem to intermingle with each other. So that would have been a nice change too. As for the ending, I mean, I know it's kind of lackluster, but that's sort of the whole kind of feel with noir games, unfortunately. That's kind of like the just what to expect out of noir. It's not always going to be a happy ending. Sometimes the ending is going to be pretty lackluster or not too happy, or it's not going to be a everyone has a good time ending. Sometimes it's going to be a very, very kind of like, oh, that's it kind of ending for noir type things, and that's just kind of like what the genre is kind of known for.
That is realistic.
Yeah, don't
movies.
expect the thing about noir genre in general, it's not always going to be, hey, everyone's happy, we all win. No, sometimes it'll kind of leave you feeling empty, and that's sort of the whole point of noir. It's like it's kind of it kind of gives you the gritty reality. Like after your job's done, you're not going to walk off a hero. You're just going to walk off and do your thing. Wake up the next day and go back to your daily life, and that's sort of what I like about the ending. It really fits with the noir theme. Oh, you got the killer, and then what now? Okay, you just go back to your regular life. That's sort of the whole feeling and the whole idea of noir, and I think they captured it perfectly here.
Give us your final verdict and final rating from a 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale.
So I didn't feel satisfied at the end. And that's what Tallman said before. And that's what I like. I like satisfactions from a game. And it's not a good sign if you could only play this game for an hour and then stop there because you couldn't play no more. So my rating would be a 5. It was just like, I wouldn't play the other chapters again, like, somebody here. I'd rather play Naruto Dating Sims again. At least I get somewhere at the end, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I love the concept. I love the randomization. I love being able to compare to other players, like, oh, which character did you get? I got this one. But the execution was pretty boring. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And I wouldn't buy it like someone here who bought it accidentally and still paid for Xbox Live Pass. Next.
I remember you came just coming downstairs when I was playing. So it's like, look, guess what Ham did? I'm like, oh, what she do? She bought the game! And then she bought the pass. I'm like, what? Oh, that was funny.
I didn't know!
The final verdict of this game, as a first time player as a first time playing this game, I like its art style, and some of the characters, well, not really the characters. I mean, the music that goes along with that sets the tune of the customers. But there are some things that could be fixed. But I'll just say I'll give this game I'll give Nightcall a 7.5 out of 10.
Comparing to other visual novels that I've played, there's definitely a lot of areas that this game could have improved upon. But the overall concept, the music, and then the variety of characters give me something to look forward to for another playthrough, simply because I was playing like the very basic version of the story, the judge difficulty or whatever you want to call it. I've got to play like a few nights on a different difficulty, and I think there's possibility that some of the issues we had could have been fixed in that. But from what I know from the first playthrough, I would like to just... It's like I want to love it, but there's all those issues I already have with it. It makes me like hold back my rating. So like I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. But yeah, I really want to like it. Like I don't hate it. I think it has a lot of potential.
All right. Okay, yeah. My final verdict, man, although I say this a lot, I'm not a fan of visual novels, but this game, yeah, same thing. It did what it could on the investigative part, but I really wanted more with choosing and like actually investigating into more of the details on more of the characters. It almost it excelled in the visual novel part, but in the game wise, it fell off because it gave me a game for me to want to play because of how interesting investigating a murder throughout talking to people in a taxi cab was. So I'll give this game a 5.5.
Encountering the different people, the creatures, and the unknown, it makes it a thrilling experience that is dragged down by the forced plot and rush to find the killer. It doesn't know whether it wants to be a taxi driver game or a detective game. I give this game a 7.5 out of 10. Not enough cats.
Not enough cats.
Don't get me wrong. Nightcall, Nightcall has an interesting premise and has some pretty engaging like world building with the characters. For the most part, it just fails to bring it all together. Like most of the time, I actually forgot that I was even looking for a killer until the end of each night, where the game forces you to look at the evidence board. Like the game could have removed the whole killer portion of the story, and I still would have felt the same by the end. Now, ultimately, there just wasn't enough engaging detective elements, and the passenger stories just felt so disjointed from the main case that I just did not care about it by the end. Like there's a great detective noir game somewhere in there. It just needs a little bit more polish and more direction, but the game gets my final rating of 6 out of 10. The game really makes you feel like you want to take a nap. Next.
I don't know. That was so funny.
Would not buy for full price.
Yeah.
Ooh, shots fired.
Dang.
Got him. Okay.
But I got a refund at least.
What do I give it? So I don't know. I never played a visual novel game, so this is literally my first ever game. And for what it was, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I was already in the middle of my second playthrough before recording, so I liked the premise of it. I really liked it, like having to talk to a bunch of customers. I do get how there is quite a lot, so you're not gonna get through all of it in the first playthrough. But that's just how it is. But for what it was, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know a lot of people aren't gonna like the ending, but for someone who kind of I'm not like a diehard fan of noir, but I do like it, and I understand the nuances of it. And considering the ending and the genre of the game, I thought the ending was pretty good to be expected for the noir genre. It's not gonna lift. It's not gonna be the best ending, but for what to expect out of for what it is, I personally liked it. I thought it was a perfect ending for the kind of genre it's meant to be. There were some issues, like I really do wish they did emphasis on the whole detective part and all that, and give you options to reread past transcripts and not hold your hand as much with the little stringy thingies. I really did wish it kind of emphasized more on you having to actually listen carefully for details and then piece it together. But for just a casual experience, I perfectly liked it. So I'd give this game a 7, definitely out of 10.
So Nightcall gets a final average rating from us, a 62.5% or a 50 out of 80.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
Nice.
I think that's still better than Double Kick, right?
Double Kick was like, I think 50 or something.
Yeah,
No,
look at the
60.
50s, right? Yeah. And it is bonus mystery question time. So bonus mystery question asker. Go
Oh,
ask us a question. Let's go.
okay. One of my burning questions is, after playing this game, would any of y'all try being a taxi driver just for the fun of it, like just to see what it's like, or like nah? I want to know, because I would definitely try being a taxi driver just to experience it.
No.
All right.
Next, nothing else.
Would I personally be a taxi driver?
Say it already.
No, next.
No, I would not see. I would not try. I would not like doing night shifts that much.
Wow. all right.
You're getting rejected, dude.
To be honest, I already feel like a taxi driver when I'm in my college town. I've literally been messaged at 2 a.m. to drive someone somewhere. I've literally been asked to do that. They paid me $20, and it was
That's
raining.
essentially night call right there. 20
Yeah,
bucks.
so I was like, yeah, why not? I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching YouTube. So yeah, honestly, since I already have insomnia, yeah, I would do it.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I believe
I like driving, to be honest.
Yeah, I believe the person in the game mentioned something about insomnia too, and like how he's restless, so that's why he does this and all that. It helps him relax or something like that. So, all
I
right,
like driving. I'm an insomniac. Yeah, why not? It doesn't have to be my full-time job.
no, just be a side thing. I said, would you just try to experience it, or just as a side hustle, or as a full-time thing? It doesn't have
There's
to.
some weird
you know.
people in the world, man. I'd like to hear them.
I
I'll
mean,
pretend to be the cash cab, you know?
oh, cash cab.
Taxi driver? I'll do it. Well, 'cause I have done Ubers. Well, it's kind of like an iffy thing because taxis and Ubers have a different demographic. Because I've tried Ubers at like 2 a.m. in the morning in Seattle, but
Ooh.
taxis, I feel like, is more sketchy than people who have a phone or like an app. So like
that is true. Yeah.
Because it can be random at any moment.
Yeah.
Someone calls you. Yep.
Like from a payphone after he just robbed a bank or murdered a couple of people. I need a taxi to get out of here. And then coming into the taxi later with bloodstains on the chair. And the dude smoking a cigarette in the driver's seat with the windows closed. I don't know. Something like that might happen.
Not gonna lie, that sounds like fun.
Try it. As long as it's not my car.
Oh, yeah. It can be on your own
like,
terms.
I relate taxis to Ubers a lot. So
taxis are fun.
I would try it. Just get a couple, get some pay over the weekend.
Econ mode, baby.
Yeah, I'll try it.
All right. So we got 2 for yes and 1 for maybe, and the rest has been no. Okay. Nice. All right.
I will only do it if I could meet those weird people or cats or ghosts. Something weird. It has to be weird like that for me to do this. Otherwise, nah, I wouldn't do it.
You want the weird stuff, okay?
Yeah, I had to find like a robot or a random demon or a vigilante or something.
Some disembodied body just floating about. Hey, get it. I'll take you to where you want.
It has to be that weird for me to do it.
I can respect that. I can respect it. All right.
I'd actually be down to try it at least for a night. But I wouldn't want it to be in like freaking Seattle or something. Maybe like where he was located, like Paris or some other country, like some other foreign country with a busy like nightlife city. I think it'd just be interesting to get like perspective and see what it's like. So yeah, I'd say I'm down to do it. Not as a living.
No,
maybe like a weekend or 2. Okay.
Yeah, just to try it, or
So yeah, I'm in.
Would I try it? Heck yeah, I would try it. Whether it's my own car or not, I definitely would like to experience what it's like to be a taxi driver for the night portion of things. Because during the daytime, it's not so bad. Because it's daytime, everyone's running about. It's the nighttime is when the seedy people potentially come out or something, and something crazy may happen. So would I try it out as an experience? Definitely. Potential side job? Yeah, maybe. Full-time living? Probably not. No, not really. But I definitely would be down to try it. So just to experience things. So.
And that concludes episode 6 of Video Game Book Club for the month of May 2021. Thank you for tuning in and watching. And thank you, Nakuso, Shaishen, Soul, Tailman, Bajerwin, Nengo, Hamber, for joining me in this episode.
Yeah, boy. He knows what's up.
Congratulations, all the graduates of 2021.
As always, everyone's links to their YouTubes, Twitches, Twitters, and social media will be in the description box below. Take care, have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Noise.
Track you down and hear the truth coming straight from you. Never knew where you had run your only son. The child you never knew I could have been so wrong. And the only thing I'm sure I wish I never cared. If you did, you would have tried to be there.